Oh, Kissay! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog. I'm Mass. This is Kit. We also have Roost Y and Skyme over on that couch. Skim too.
Skim
Skim.my from Malaysia.
Those need workshopping.
Out of there. Anyway, look, we tried. We really tried. We do have a fourth and final game. One that should be a banger as well. Skimmy was real excited to get into it, into the break. We're talking Peace first because they're up against Pentanet today. And Peace have started to perform. Tian really loving that Shiv up top. You got Lisa in the jungle. He's got some good games. He's got some bad games. But Peace need him to be playing good to get them dubs on the board. Appy's been real consistent in mid with Violet reuniting with Gunkrab in that bot lane, and let's see if he is going to be the piece to resist Donce to take down PGG today. But let's start talking PGG as well, because they have been in spectacular form for the most part. Yuri in particular, a big couple of games as of late, Skimmy.
Certainly has, and that's what you love to see, right? We've heard the credits from his peers that he is really, really good at mid lane, but just hasn't been allowed to truly shine. And he goes up against Chiefs and literally does shine, but on his own. So you're loving what he's bringing to the table. He plays what we saw Callista mid lane to relax. What a weapon. So I'm really excited to see if he's hit that individual moment of true brilliance. What a time, and what a great game to try and get that vengeance win back up against Peace.
Oh, hello. Peace, of course, getting that dub last time they both went head-to-head, which means this is for all the bacon later on in the season. Very maybe, very maybe, if Peace take this dub today, it'll be 2-zip, and then PGG won't have that head-to-head, Rusty.
That's certainly true. I mean, the last time that they faced was a Violet Jinx scaling angle up until the very, very late game. And it was an extremely winnable game by Pentanet.gg from memory. So it was an interesting one highlighting this. I mean, the set pick I don't think we'll see again. And the interesting thing about this week, Mac, and I mentioned this earlier in the day, is that neither team's really had a chance to play their best League of Legends yet. PGG were just having fun yesterday, and Peace copped an absolute walloping from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And they didn't really get to exist and play the game out. So this is really fresh start, reset. This is day one for both teams, realistically. And this is their opponent that they need to focus on today.
And this, of course, that last game was that base race, which was ridiculous. Violet, of course, saying he wasn't even looking at himself. He was just bloody attack click and hitting that Nexus, hoping that he had what it took. What was the difference? Was it 4 HP or something?
I don't know the exact numbers.
It was one auto attack.
It was literally one auto
hit. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get a game that's that close again. PGG, it could be their time to finally win a base race. Who knows? Either way, there's going to be a lot of action down in that bot lane. We want to see a little bit more from Praedyth because he's had some really slow early games. And Violet as well. We saw Chiefs target him yesterday. Really kind of erase his presence from the game at all. And it worked. It really nullified Peace at all, right?
It did. And I actually think Praedyth and Violet have the same champion pool right now. We do see Praedyth kind of leaning towards those hyper carries, going back to his roots, which is what got PGG to MSI at one point.
Yeah.
And Violet, they have been extremely reliable on Violet's Jinx to win a lot of these team fights, where Jinx gets excited and gets just all those resets, which I think champions with resets is just absolutely broken. And maybe even if they swap out the Jinx, they couldn't have won that base race at the very end. So we don't know. I think Jinx is probably going to cop a ban. Maybe Praedyth's going to take it away.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Maybe. We've got a man that we can ask all these things to. We've got a man to check in to see if he's got PTSD from last time. We've got Gunkrab on the line. Are you doing well? Are you ready for another 40-minute thriller, or are we expecting something a bit shorter today, Gunkrab?
Oh, I'm confident we're going to smash PGG into the ground today.
Ooh. That's the confidence I like to hear.
I like to hear that confidence because predictions. Anyways, so I was quite fond of your draw from last night, which was the Poppy Jungle and Tahm Kench to counter that Aladoric Rakan. So what went wrong in that early game where you guys ended up with not the most ideal result?
So there's definitely many factors. I think the enemy team Chiefs had a really proactive level 1, and they acted upon the information they gathered from their level 1 scouting and warding and stuff. and we were really not aware of it until after the game. So we've prepared a lot more about how to prevent like these sort of early game tactics, like the level 2 Viego gank and tracking the enemy jungle parting and such.
Okay, how's Appy feeling for that mid lane? Because we know PGG with Yuri in mid, it can be a little bit scary at times. Is Appy just going to do his thing, or is he just going to try to accommodate for the rest of the team?
I'm not really worried for Appy. Appy's never really scared of any player that he faces up against, and I think he'll do fine. And you know, mid lane won't just be a 1v1 lane this game.
I need to really quickly check. Can I call you Crabbles? Because we've called you Crabbles before, but I don't know if you're okay with it. Is that just like a close friends thing?
Oh yeah, you're okay to call me whatever.
Thank you. I just needed to get confirmation. Look, Crabbles, we'll let you go. Good luck in the game today.
All right, thank you.
I thought he...
Can I call him Gunky Wonky?
Oh, well, you missed your opportunity. Maybe
No,
if
but I'm
Peace
too
win...
shy to ask. Can you ask for me?
Yeah, well, next
Bring him
time...
back. Bring him back.
He's got to get into the bloody champ
He's
select.
playing the
ask
game.
him
Champions
in
League, we gotta
the
know.
post-game. Don't
Catastrophe,
worry, everyone.
Kitty.
Delay the LCO.
Put it in the back pocket. We'll remember
Kitty's
it for
just
next
on
time we have a
strike.
chat with Gun Crab. We've got
Gunky
plenty of weeks left. We'll see if Crabbles can also be Gunky Wonky. Either way, Def Fanvote time. Get your Twitter points in. Tell us how you think this game's going to go, because we've had a couple of close ones today, and I dare say this is going to be another one of those. Last time these teams went head-to-head, it really was a 49 to 51% affair, because it got damn close, and I think our predictions are going to represent that as well. Oh, of course. It worked for you last time.
Oh, dear.
I'm just going to keep doing it.
Okay, you were talking
And
about how good...
I'm on a streak right
I've
now,
already
so you
burnt the
guys
buff.
shouldn't go
I've burnt the
against.
buff. It doesn't work anymore.
You were
Twice
talking
now.
about how good your L column there with just 6 in it looks. What if that was a 7? Wait, is that a 7? Yeah, that's a 7. Does that look good? If I need to go like over there to actually be where the graphic would. Anyway, tell me why.
Tell you why? Because I got it right the last time, and I'm always correct in my predictions. Proven with my streak, and I think Skimmy's just going down like 2.
We were like
he's
neck
down
and neck for
bad.
ages, and now I'm just boom. maybe down bad, but not in that way.
Not
Sure.
in that way, but
Sure.
I'm up good right now, so you guys
Cool.
should follow what I'm predicting, because
Sweet.
I'm always right, and I got that peace buff.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm down bad for some 5 gum and some champ selects, ladies and gents. Don't go too far. It's time for the final game of the day.
I love this so much. Fantastic. Well, yes, week 6 is coming to a close. Champ Select is here to tell us what happens between these two heavy hitters of the region. Senna's been let through. Senna first pick.
Okay, yeah. So center first pick. I think this is actually uniquely good for Peace, among other couple teams. But like for Peace, because Gunkrab is a center player. The last time that Peace played a center comp was Tarmkench in the hands of Violet. He was the one farming.
That's right, yeah.
So I think there is an extra layer of flexibility with Peace picking the center first. And I think that is one of the reasons it was often banned away from them. Pentanet.gg on the other side here will get a very nice 1-2 punch of the Ezreal Viego. Feels reminiscent of last game. Plenty of flexibility to follow through from here. I wonder where Peace goes. They have so many options still. Wukong gone, however, it's nice. It's refreshing to see that one taken out of the pool. Lisa has done this before. Lisa is going to do that again. Belveth to be locked in for his second time. And Sejuani to actually have the combo. I think this is the first time we've seen the full combo locked in.
I think you're right. Which is really exciting, because that certainly seems to be the go-to combo to make sure that you do a lot of damage.
And there was, I think Chaz tweeted this because he's been playing in, I forget the name of the region now, like an EU Masters region or league.
He's living in England at the moment.
Yeah,
he's
doing
living
something.
in London.
He's doing something over there.
Yeah.
He played against a Belveth Sejuani combo, and their bot lane was legitimately Heimerdinger Bard. Like, I don't know where they went wrong halfway through their draft, but they ended up with Heimer Bard bot lane with a Belveth Sejuani. I'm not sure we'll get that this time around.
I don't think so.
Because we've already got the center locked in.
We're not that lost in the sauce yet.
No, that would be very deep in the sauce. Yuumi is a free third pick as well here. I'm surprised with how infrequently we have seen Yuumi banned when we see a Zeri ban instead. It does make you wonder, is Zeri that strong without the Yuumi? I think the answer is still yes.
I think so, yeah. But Yuumi certainly is very viable with a lot of pairings. If you look at the last 8 games that Pentanet have played, they've only played Yuumi once, and it has been with this Ezreal. That was up against Mammoth. They did, of course, have some pretty heavy engage with the likes of a Swain and a Vi to try and throw a curveball in that game. Where do the bans go now? Because Swain has been removed. Corki taken away as well. So
yeah,
looks like mid lane is where we're getting attacked.
Swain also banned by Appy, who I think would absolutely love the pick. So perhaps is more worried about a 4th pick Swain being just a free option for them. But Silas was also on the cards. So makes you wonder. That is an oddball.
Lux.
Senna Lux is a combo, I suppose.
I suppose, but this doesn't seem like the kind of thing that you just randomly ban. This looks like a scrim or some secret source that you've seen in a solo queue game, right?
Technologies has been leaked. They've looked at Gunko's match history and said no thank you. But yeah, okay, so Lux is going to be taken away. It could also be Appy playing at mid. I'm really unsure.
Yeah, whilst you process that one, what it could be and what it could mean. Pentanet going to lock themselves in here with a Gwen, seemingly towards the top half of the draft.
Yeah, they see the Sejuani up there, right? One of the advantages of the Gwen into Sejuani is that you can both run Ignite. So we saw this yesterday, I think it was. You kind of both just have extra kill threat on each other. It's okay. This is Senna Yasuo from the looks of it. Makes you wonder where the rest of the comp will be. Because, like, again, Abby, maybe. But that's not so much a combo. One really awesome thing about this comp is Sejuani has so many melee fast attack speed champions to proc the Sejuani stuns. So yes, we will have the Senna Yasuo bot lane.
Wow. What a throwback this is.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in other regions this year, and this split rather. From memory, you often more so see the Yasuo leaving a Seraphine up because it is just a direct counter, right? You have the wind wall, stop the ultimate, done. Like, Seraphine gone. Seraphine banned by Pentanet.gg in this draft, however. Yasuo Senna does still have a whole lot of kill threat into Ezreal, nullifies Ezreal almost completely when it comes to team fights, when you find those big engage moments. And Yuri actually going to go towards the Azir now that he sees his matchup. It's the luxury of choosing that one. Lots of magic damage there between solo laners of Pentanet.gg. Wits End certainly buyable, purchasable here for Lisa. Magic resistance purchasable for TN.
Question now becomes, though, who plays the Senna? Because last time, as you say...
Yeah, it was Gunkrab.
That was Gunkrab, and it looks to be the case at the moment with Violet actually on the Yasuo, which is pretty exciting.
There's also, like... You want to, like, mechanics check everyone that picks the Yasuo in this bot lane. So we will be putting a microscope on Violet to see how he performs on this one. But at the same time, Yasuo has existed as a bot lane champion. You know, without the Senna combo, Yasuo just existed. There was a Gragas Yasuo bot lane meta. So I would expect that Violet has got the match history there. But also so would Gunkrab because he was an AD player. So...
maybe a big reason why he was just so confident in his interview before, right? We're going to stomp them, he said. So, sure, you've just dropped the hammer and said, we're playing a Yasuo. That's going to be the way that we get a 2-0 into this head-to-header. A massive, massive upset from what would be the norm when you compare both of these AD carries of certainly having a history with hyper carries and just playing towards, what, 40 minutes, 500 CS?
Yeah, I mean, definitely bucks that trend a little bit. Also, a win here for Peace equalizes on the standings, Pentanet.gg. Brings them up to, I believe, 3rd. So a really important game for Peace. And it'll also give them head-to-head. The 3rd time that they face each other, Peace will still retain that head-to-head with a 2-to-1 ratio, even if they lost it.
Given how close things are at the moment, those could have some pretty serious implications in the run-off to playoffs.
Be extremely crucial. Comp set, Skimmy, we are on the rift.
We certainly are. So let's load in for the final time tonight. The final time this week to close out week number 6. Peace up against Pentanet. It's a throwback to the good times of 2021, and it's a throwback to our old friend in Midlord. It's been a long time, Midlord, since we last caught up, so how have you been?
Yeah, I was sick last week.
Are you feeling better now?
Yeah, feel better now.
That's really good to hear. Well, what have you been working on? Because we haven't had a catch-up in a while, so what's the team been focusing on during training?
Actually, we are focused on team fights and we need more communication. like make any teammates on the same page, then we can much better than before.
Yeah, sure. And are you happy with the progress you've made so far?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. Well, talk to me about this game then. Obviously, Yasuo is the most exciting pick. What's brought this on?
Look, we are, all of them is like short range, but we have Senna. Like we don't want to pick like tank on, at both line, so we just transfer to a carry, like have carry with the dash.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see how it looks because you've certainly laid down the gauntlet. So Menulog, pleasure as always, mate. Stay healthy and stay strong. Good luck.
All right, thank you. Bye.
They do indeed have a carry with a dash. Skimmy is certainly something that Yasuo has too much of, suffice to say. As we are into this game, nice and early, Bel'Veth is doing a very unique solo path. This is actually a interesting thing about this clear, as it is Raptors solo into Krugs, is it actually respawns those two specific camps faster, which means if you're going for an accelerated level 6 clear, while your red buff will be delayed for potentially extra uptime on ganks, it means that you get to cycle those camps as fast as possible, so that once you do the 6 camp clear into Scuttlecrab into base, you'll have both of them up in relatively short order. So it does actually accelerate the level 6 clear by quite a lot. And we'll see if that is the pathway that Lisa chooses to take, as Bel'Kan on the other side, much more standardized clear, working towards top to bottom. Oh, they got him.
They found him. They're looking for it. Gunkrab is actually the one on the Yasuo. He's been exhausted. Exhaust for exhaust. They're feeling the pain. And they are certainly feeling the pressure as well, as a cheeky early first blood could have taken place, but not to be.
Yeah, nice play there from Gunkrab on the Yasuo up until he tanked the turret. And that is unfortunately his undoing as far as that trade is concerned. Rogue able to retain full health, and Praedyth with plenty of resources left standing. It's going to be a reset from this Yasuo for Boots. Not perfect bases at all. But hey, an aggressive early trade, you like to see that. Either way, back towards the rest of the map as PGG will just business as usual down in this bottom lane. Mid should be pretty much perma-pushing, perma-farming for Yuri. We might have to hold that conversation though, because Bel'Kan
Yeah, at least
fancies
all the way
himself
top.
a crack.
There's not going to be any backup to help out Peace. Flashes are there. Ignite is available. Rogue looking for it. No exhaust this time. As mentioned, Gunkrab gets the knock up. He's dashing. He's got a minion wave to run away.
And he's out.
And he spotted Bel'Kan and said, I don't want anything to do with that.
There's just no crowd control for Pensinet.gg. The Yasuo has absolutely been baited into the play. But as Bel'Kan goes for the W, just dashes away. So perhaps didn't have a read on the timer of this Yasuo, but fancy footwork from Gunkrab, unbeknownst to him, just straight up jukes an ability. And that is the only form of crowd control they have. So just gets to kite his way through the minions back to safety. Sucks for Gunkrab because he's going to have to do a fast reset again. But I don't think he minds too much given that they've just revealed their Viego on the map. And Bel'Veth gets to take away a couple of camps there. Lisa, you saw, steal away some Raptors and straight back towards his own Krugs and Raptors that he prepared earlier.
100% he'll be the biggest winner out of all, right? The fact that he can just get vision that Bel'Kan is there, so I can look to try and pull ahead, hit level 6 as quickly as I can. And I guess this becomes the question now. We've seen, what, 3 games? This will be our 4th of the Bel'Veth. We've said they want to be playing towards the hero. We want to have a comp that can allow you to do that. Ari, Sejuani, surely this is your best chance yet.
I mean, for sure, the Sejuani has a combo as well, just because you have so much attack speed in your kit built in and it scales, especially for ganking a lane. Sejuani is going to be supremely powerful. I would like to see a bit more activity towards that one. It'd be nice, it's just a powerful duo, and it also keeps a Gwen down potentially, right? Who wants to be a scaling pick into the game. Can get punished. Might be that they wait for level 6. Drake about to be hit here as well. And they will do this one pretty quickly with 380 carry champions basically just whacking this thing as fast as possible.
It's gone before you can even have a look and say, maybe we can test. So first straight going to go the way of Peace. One of the teams that certainly historically have had a bit of a fun relationship with getting those Drakes as a win condition, so no surprises there.
QMax as well from Lisa on this Bel'Veth. We saw an Emax, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah.
With the tankier builds. And already, Lisa going towards Pickaxe, QMax, a little bit more mobility and damage perhaps coming out of him. We'll see exactly what build he chooses. as there is still flexibility, and I think it's up in the air as to what people prefer, whatever their reasons may be. Could just be a style choice. Anyway, what I was going to say is Belkan's used his W, so we've got some time to talk about it. Mid's been permanently pushing. There's been a lot of priority gifted. Still no crowd control down in this bottom lane, so really PGG over-forcing to try and bait, but that feels like a hopeless cause. I think more than anything else, they're trying to just threaten and keep peace at bay, but their wave's pushing, so nothing gained at all.
And Violet's emote really says it all for me. I mean, a thumbs up. I mean, it was a good try.
Yeah.
What was it? It wasn't really, because they were never at any real risk of falling to that.
Good job. Like, not really an angle there. This is actually a big point for Pentanet.gg as a whole. I do feel like they kind of live or die by the success of Belkan's early game. More often than not, they've been very lucky that they have Yuri being an absolute monster as an individual lately, but when they work their best, when Pentanet.gg are at their best, it is a hyper-aggressive Belkan getting active, getting ganks off and diving lanes, and that's quite far from what we have seen from them the past couple of weeks.
Oh, he's stood resolute here in this bot lane to make sure that wave will crash, seemingly so, that his bot lane can then go back to base, reset, shop up, and then decide if they are going to make a play towards this Herald to try and deny it away from Lisa.
Awkward pathing here as well by Lisa. Steals away at camp, so it's nice, but now has to reset back towards his top side where there is only really the Gromp there because he's prioritizing the Rift Herald. So instead of having a full 3-camp clear on the bottom side of the map, he's just going to be up here to do Gromp. I'm not sure if this will get him at 2 level 6, but that would be really nice to have before the Herald itself. It will. So that is best case scenario for him. The question is, what can the team of Peace do around Lisa? As Herald is obviously a major point for both teams. Senna's already moved up here. Sejuani could be walking down, but he's pushing the wave in first. Herald already at 3k health. This is going to be a 5v5.
It's looking like it. Everybody coming to the area. Ults are available, and a fight will break out. Lisa not there to go for the smite steal, but now can Pentanet disengage away. Balkan would have to flash, but does he turn around? Winter has run on in. He's got the immunity circle, but they all just join in and just take him out for a first blood.
Sejuani ultimate does get used onto Belkan on Viego there, but he's able to actually buffer that one with the ultimate, gets over the wall, and that really is just going to be the play fizzling. Peace so slow. I felt like that was really obvious from all fronts. Everyone knew that there was going to be a fight at this Rift Herald, but somehow PGG take the entirety of it before the fight even happens. And by then, you'll be happy you've got your 1 kill and you're disengaged, but I don't think Winter minds all that much. The objective was secured and it was denied from your opponent.
It was. Certainly an angle for them to try and press forward and an advantage in a lane that may be looking to get ahead. Maybe you give that one to Winter. Perhaps you give it to Yuri to make sure that he can be that late game monster that we've seen him become. All split long. And then down in bot lane. Crab and Violet. Playing quite nicely here.
Minute 23 was now a minute 10 until the Drake is up. Wave pushing into them, but I don't think they actually mind all that much. They could hold that as a freeze if they wanted, but Yasuo also may want to put extra priority into pushing that one quick to get onto the map. If they want to get a reset off control wards before the Drake, now is the time to hard push and leave. Question becomes, how do Peace want to play this game? How do they want to scale? I do think that they're pretty comfortable just getting items. Looking at their comp as a whole as well, Senna happily scaling. Yasuo very good with item spikes and wants to scale into the game. 2 items obviously with the crit build, but even the Blade of the Ruin King Rush that we've seen from a lot of Yasuo's now is certainly a viable option for him. And then I think the Bel'Veth, obviously very happy to get those items, get that Blade of the Ruin King online and just start ramping into the game. You want to play for Heralds for sure. And you've got the first Drake in the game, so you would be okay with considering Drake as a very real option, but at the same time, if you see them conceded, it should come as no surprise.
For sure. You want to say it is the be-all end-all because it gives you that empowered duration and obviously a lot more strength alongside it, but certainly not going to look to try and flip and lose the game based off that. Those item spikes will be what keeps us entertained as Peace group up once again and looking for a sneaky invitation to bot lane on Vision. Lisa's going to attempt to try and find a knock-up, but great arcane shift away.
Ward spots them. Drake started. Teleport's available for just TF. I think that is a big difference maker here. No real chance that you'd want to go for this one too hard, but it's not unleash teleport.
He's going to use it though to that mid lane tower. Stun goes out with the root from Senna. Second Drake secured here by the side of Peace. Bite on Appy across the wall. Lisa looking for the reset, and he finds it! He's just survived. Now Yuri the focus. Rogue is there with him, but he gets knocked up for the last breath, and that's what they'll draw. A flash forward from Gunkrab. He's getting excited, and a fadeaway tornado to seal the deal.
And Praedyth and Rogue will be able to limp away. The team fight was a loss before it started, however. Winterer is pushing top lane without teleport. I feel like it's really straightforward stuff, and that is absolutely the bread and butter of what players in pro leagues will track. They still willingly take the skirmish, they still willingly take the fight. That's the most PGG thing you'll ever see. Praedyth gets hit by the charm. Yuri wants to get in and hit a big ultimate, but only finds one person, and it's Lisa on Bel'Veth, and it does absolutely nothing for winning this team fight. Gunkrab free to his own devices to hit Yuri constantly, and the rest of the team fight was quite simple. Lisa, while he gets the true form, the reset doesn't give him much health. It just kind of gives him the true form after that point. Herald to be summoned mid lane, and plates to be taken top lane should be the trade.
And that is the one big distinct difference between the likes of Bel'Veth and Viego, right? The fact that you aren't getting that HP back every single time you claim a soul. Bit of an annoyance. But sort of the true form when you are in it can pack a bit of a punch. Now, Bladed Rune King is there, and he's gone for an evade. He stole away the red buff before, and he's looking for it again. A 1v1 into Volkan, who's just not that strong in comparison. Second buff stolen again.
Absolutely bodied by Lisa, now 3-0-1 on this Bel'Veth. We've seen a couple of really fed Bel'Veths in the LCO. We haven't seen many of them translate into a full game win, except for Peace, who did find success with it last time. Now they've got a lot of threat towards top lane as Violet moving with Lisa very actively around the map. They're able to zone away, extra couple of waves, and zone away Winterer from that turret. Sitting extremely pretty. Violet must be so tempted. No point hiding when there's 3 stacks on the ground. And Yasuo also really wants to be in a solo lane. So this is best case scenario for Peace. Lisa just walks into a red buff, finds himself a Balkan and says, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, and he must be furious because Balkan went back to base and instantly picked up that Divine Sunder, and now PGG feels strong to get some revenge and get a kill. That they will find. They take out Violet down for 20 seconds. Bit of assist gold to share around.
Yeah, standing in front of his Sejuani just means he overstayed his welcome by a couple of seconds there. Praedyth and Gunkrab. I wonder if he fancies the fight.
Absolutely, he does. There's the ultimate on towards Praedyth. And he's looking for the kill. The wing wall goes down, and there is no chance to retaliate.
Gunkrab knows what he's doing. We spoke about this in Champions League, but both ADC players should be capable of playing the Yasuo. You saw the smooth mechanics there from Gunkrab. And old Gunky Wunky gets the 1v1.
Kitty's just punching the air right now. Yes, he said it.
Is that permission?
Perhaps.
If Peace win, maybe we just bring him back for a post-game. Just for that question. Or you can ask the rest of the team. Ask Violet.
Played Yasuo, do you deserve MVP? Yes.
But still, I mean, I can't help but feel like the way that the game is currently set up, Peace are well and truly in the driver's seat. They're so profoundly strong. Even though Violet dies, like, and you're really happy with getting an extra kill there if you are Peace. PGG, they didn't hesitate to lock that one down. How much exactly does that mean for the current state of the map where overall Peace just, they're stronger in the jungle 1v1. They've got a freely moving support champion where the Yumi's much more locked down and doesn't feel like it wants to be attached to the Viego too much because now you've got a 0-2 and much weaker setup.
It's happened, Rusty.
You've got the Herald.
Void Form Gaming.
Void Form means you can actually dash over walls as well, so don't get baited into it.
Get ready for the family outing once these minions die.
Terrifying.
Here they come.
They're called Remoras?
Void Remoras.
Is this the skin?
I think it is.
Look at my teacups. What are they?
I've never seen that version, actually.
You just can't unsee it being a manta ray. Like, there's no shot. The Void's just the ocean. Changed my mind. Like, think about it. What is Vel'Koz? I don't know, some kind of jellyfish? Squid?
Good games, yeah. Bit of a tangent here, so we're zooming in.
Can't answer what cassette it is. I'm just thinking about it. Like, I'm lost now, but...
Herald is used. The wave is pushed. Another turret goes down. So the second for the side of Peace. Pinsent going to try and answer back here. I mean, we're only 50 minutes in, but the game's already saying there are bounties on the line. They can do a bit of chip damage, but Tien's presence alone is enough to stop that.
And a lot of this comes back to Pensinet.gg being predictable to a fault. That play at Drake, do you have to?
Did it have to happen?
Does it have to happen? Probably not, but it does, right? And you know that Pentanet or GG are going to do that. Same thing with the Herald. It's just a piece we're a little bit late to that play. So if you know that this is going to happen, you know that your opponents are going to fight you. At least in the regular season, Pentanet or GG will contest you for every objective. It becomes a lot more predictable and easier to beat.
And certainly, Peace is taking full advantage of that at this stage. Well, 3 Drakes back-to-back. It really is just as easy as that. 16 minutes in, Yuri is the most fed member in the game, so that is something to certainly cheer about as a Pentanet fan. It's what you'd love to see, an Azir that can look to try and take over the game, but as we're seeing right now, a huge gold lead is starting to accrue here.
And a boatload of damage goes onto this outer turret. They will just be able to take that. Praetor has no real wave clear on this Ezreal without the ultimate being there. That's one really big point actually here for the composition of Pentanet.gg as a whole. They are really reliant on Azir for wave clear, it feels like, or it's just going to be long-range, slow-paced clear from the Ezreal. With that in mind, it feels like to actually clear the waves as Yuri, when they're looking at you, really challenging. No cleanse, Ahri Charm, Sejuani ultimates, you can get a lot of things thrown at you. So execution actually quite difficult when behind here for Pentanet.gg and just surviving against the Wood.
Makes me wonder what kind of brand of Yuri we'll get here. Whether he'll be the one that jumps in for the ults or if he'll be the one to sit back and get it done like his team are trying to do right now. Fancy feet there from Tien, not to get stunned by the Viego. Dawning Shadow from Violet, just giving him enough mitigation so he doesn't die, but ultimately Pentanet chase and they prevail.
Yeah, geez, just barely surviving that one. Tien tries his hardest to survive. Peace, meanwhile, however, they will break the full mid lane outer turret for that trade. And that is a sign of Pentanet.gg not knowing where to be or what to do. Because they are just going to be outclassed anytime they actually group up and go head-to-head against their respective opponents.
I mean, it's just 4 turrets to zip at the moment. Complete domination on the macro sense, and it really has all been about what Lisa's been able to achieve to control the jungle, to enable his team to rotate around and secure all these objectives, and now just such a fair degree of map control to find those angles, to find those kills.
And we're having this conversation earlier today before the broadcast, but Praetor has been extremely quiet the past whole Super Week, and I guess today is inclusive of that as well. Very just slow-paced farming, looking to scale into the game. Yesterday didn't really matter because mid was a Kalista and was going absolutely crazy. This time around, being quiet. I mean, we're hoping to see him get to team fights, right? You want to see a big impact. Ezreal, 2 big item completions is a big break point for him. 3 items if you're looking for a last whisper. Yuri is extremely flanked right now and is in a whole lot of trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble. He's hit the Emperor's Divide, but he's going to connect with the passive from that Sejuani, and Rogue, well, he gets to watch. As his mid laner falls on down, Winter can TP to the Sandcastle and say, maybe we can force a fight here. I don't think you want to.
It was really oddly played by Yuri, to be honest. Dies with flash up, and I think might have misclicked an attack instead of summoning the turret. Just really looking at that one. The faster you can summon the turret, the faster Winter can teleport. That was the game plan. It makes sense, but then in execution, it critically failed. The turret going to persist for just a little bit longer, but nothing to actually come from it as it does. Fizzle and Peace will accrue further leads. They're sitting extremely pretty. And like we said, permanently scaling into this game. The center's getting more and more stacks from a winning position. It's a lot easier to get those stacks. Velvet constantly accruing Lavender as well for the attack speed. Becomes unreasonably strong at some point in this game. And honestly is probably already there with a 5k gold lead.
Certainly are sitting very pretty now with that 2-item spike. Frostfire Gauntlet being Lisa's preferred mythic on this newly released champion. You're tanky, you're durable, you've got the lockdown, and you've certainly got a lot of mitigation to make sure that if anybody tries to challenge you, it's not going to be that easy to do. Well, he's stolen away multiple red buffs. Now he fancies himself a blue buff. Balkan does not want to give that one up this time. He's contested it. They are collapsing. They're looking, they're hunting. But Sedge is in the river. 48 seconds for Soul Point.
Just off being able to perhaps push Lisa back. Maybe look for a health transaction. Not going to happen. Tien now standing actually with his team does mean that we will be getting a split pushing Ahri. Teleport is still there from Appy, however, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him just teleport into the play early, especially if Peace are looking to fight, but also to be able to use that split push pressure is a viable strat. We'll see exactly what they choose to do. Pentanet.gg don't want to give away Soul. They refuse to give away Soul. And so Peace are the ones that have creative freedom here with their shot calling, with their decision making. Teleport in early.
That's exactly what they've done, right? Appy's completely pushed the top wave to crash into that inhib turret. Pentanet feel threatened to do something right now, and they're pushing aggressively forward. A two-man center route. That buys Violet a little bit of time and his team to disengage away before Pentanet can Steve and find that kill. Needlework is out.
Appy.
Two-shot barrage. Appy just soaks it all up. He hits stasis form for 2 seconds, but then gets met by an Emperor's Divide. Yuri's going to have to die for that one. Balkan picks up a shutdown, but Violet answers back with 2. A much more welcomed addition than his reintroduction from yesterday. And Peace are looking the goods.
And that is going to be the Soul point confirmed here as well for Peace. They will be very happily able to move from this straight towards Baron buff as well, with a lot of members dead from Pentanet.gg. Balkan being alive, having flash, having ultimate might be the saving grace here. You're looking for a miracle though. And you cannot afford to disrespect Peace for a second. They have enough members alive that they could even consider zoning him off. Plenty of sustain with a Senna, plenty of damage with a Yasuo.
Winter is like 10 seconds away from using TP, but Balkan's looking to try and face check this one blind.
2k health, he doesn't know. He has to just blind ult in now. That would have been special if Balkan even had a shot at that one. Not going to happen. Almost impossible to stop Peace now.
Certainly is. They have every buff this game has to offer, and it all starts from PGG just feeling really pressured to try and fight.
And just fighting from a deficit, right? Winter and no ultimate as the fight starts. Praetor tries his best to deal damage. They'll get 1 kill. But the fight's already gone at that point, right? Lisa gets the true form, gets to be hyper-aggressive with the rest of the play. They lost from the start because they were so desperate to engage that the engaged choice was bad.
And now Lisa gets to show you what it looks like. That was nearly very clever to sidestep out that wall. But a tank Belveth, even onto Yuri, is giving him a headache.
Baron buff in hand. Makes it almost impossible. Remora's to spawn as well as the minions die with a Baron buff. I mean, it's overwhelming. And again, Pentanet.gg, you talk about their wave clear. Note that into the Belveth, it's limited beyond just the scope of Yuri. The push is free.
And this pressure is suffocating right now.
Oh.
They're burning the final chapter to, I assume, force a fight, but it almost looked like it was used to try and trim the wave. Turret goes down.
Sejuani coming.
And out goes the fight. The charm, the ult, the knock-up, and the wombo combo to take down Azir. Yuri's now 0-4. You hate to see it, but for Peace, you certainly love to see it. They're going to find more kills. They're looking for an ace. They found another 2 as Appy gets a double. Predif, that's all they need. They'll find it. And now Yuumi is zoned back into the base with the Orb of Deception. Not enough to get it done. Gunkrab said it. It's going to be an absolute stomp. He wasn't lying. No cap on a stack. Here it is. GG 13-3. Easy peasy for Peace.
And they do wipe the floor with Pentanet.gg. Comprehensive victory from them as well. That's 2 Belveth victories for Peace specifically. No other team really finding the same amount of luck as they are. Huge dub, never really in doubt. And at all points in the game, you would have to say, looking like they were the better team today.
Certainly did. Didn't look like they were really too threatened for the most part, right? The fact that the laning phase was working in their favor, Mac. I mean, there's some really weird conversation about like how we can all be equal in that mess in the middle of the table, but then there's these transactions like, well, we're better than them, but they're better than us, but we're all in the middle. So like, I don't know what anything means anymore.
Well, that game was exactly what I expected from a Belveth player. From the first time we saw Belveth, that's what I thought we were going to see, is like decent Herald control. Obviously didn't get that first one, but, you know, got a kill off the back of it. Decent objective control, being in the right places, synergizing with the knock-up as well, being like the only knock-up to have synergy with the Yasuo down in bot. But also, look, quick shout-out as well to Gunkrab. Like, he's picked up the Yas. It feels like, you know, he's been playing sup lately, but he finally got to flourish in a role that he's really comfortable in. and he did really, really well, considering the matchup he was up against. Everything we saw from Peace just came together perfectly. Appy played well, Thean played well. We finally got to see the Sedge with the Belveth there as well. So pretty much everything coming together, and it's a completely different comp to sort of what we're used to seeing here in the LCO, other than, you know, up towards the top side there.
I really liked this game. It was really refreshing seeing the Senna Yasuo finally inspired by LCK, which I believe T1 did, and it worked out fantastic for the side of Peace, where Senna was actually roaming with Lisa towards topside, because I also wanted to talk about how Belveth is finally picked with a Sejuani, and I've been wanting to see this duo for the longest time since her introduction into the league. And Yasuo won that 1v1 against Praetor, which was really good for just Peace overall. And I think PGG kind of took into bad fights, especially at that dragon when it was already gone and they still decided to fight. It was because it's such a PGG thing to do. But I believe that Belveth and Yasuo had a really free game because they didn't have any hard CC from the side of PGG, where the two melee ADCs were just able to flourish in those team fights.
The other thing I wanted to touch on as well for the Belveth, like, we've got confirmation that was the most stacks we've seen on a Belveth so far, 83 stacks. Previous best stacks was 53, but at the same time, that's what we saw. You know, he was invading, he was keeping track of where the Viego was, going for the buffs. You know, you're getting stacks off those as well, and just constantly in that top red side. So just doing so much work to try to get the lead, try to have that CS advantage over Viego, and Balkan really just couldn't, you know, farm in his jungle, so he was just trying to help lanes instead.
And I mean, there was also no way back into a game for PGG with their comp, right? They don't have crowd control, they don't have hard engage, they don't have the means to turn a losing situation around into Peace. So the second they fell behind, it felt like a kind of like a lose more composition, and no matter how hard they tried to scale, Yuri was like 0-5, I think, by the end of that game, and Yuri's been the only person who's been consistently performing on that team. There's been games where you say you couldn't buy a team, but this time around, he was the one being focused and having a really rough go, and PGG looked even worse.
Very true. Now we need to refocus our conversation over to one individual. I believe it's one of the winners that we have on the line. Who do we have, Kitty?
It's Lisa, the one that just carried on the new champion Belveth. So
man.
How are you feeling after such a big dub?
I'm happy, but I'm more happy because I got a win on Belveth.
Very good. I'm glad you got that as well. Now, talk to me. It just, the synergy was there. You had the Sedge top. You were just always in the jungle, always getting those stacks up. You couldn't get the first Herald, but as soon as you could make those little Voidling... What do you have a name for the minions that you create yet, or do you just call them something else?
Yeah, I call them my sons.
My sons?
Like, yeah, my sons.
Beautiful.
Like, whenever we're switching, I just say, oh, we have minion sons. Like, my sons.
Very
so
good.
Just switch with my family.
Now, when you got that center pick, were we always going to see Violet be on that one, or did it sort of depend on which way the draft went as to who was playing what role?
No, like we already decided, like if we pick in center, Gunkrab's gonna be playing the like other parts.
Okay.
But like, I never knew Gunkrab is such insane Yasuo just until I realized that he's like his Poc. His Yasuo is actually just Poc.
Yeah, man was smurfing.
He absolutely stomped on PGG, which is exactly what he said he was going to do today. And we do know that you guys picked Senna Yasuo, which was, I believe, first done by T1. So tell us the concept behind this duo and why it works so well today.
From my knowledge, I have no idea like what it does. They just say it's a good matchup, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I remember we did once in scrims, and you pop off. I just realized, wow, Gunk is Yasuo, and today says, pick me Yasuo here. I'm like, yes sir, we're gonna win. We're gonna take the dub.
Very cool. Now look, before I wrap up the interview, quickly, is our boy Gunkrab around? Is he next to you?
It's right here.
Yeah, Kitty has something to ask him. Can Kitty call him Gunky Wunky? Can you just check for me?
Gunky. Kitty wants to ask if she can call you Gunky Wunky. Let it?
Yeah.
Not on broadcast.
Oh.
It's okay, I'll call you Gunky Wonky in DMs. Don't worry about it.
There you go. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. Congrats on the W.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Tell him not to watch the VOD, because I absolutely mid-team fight said it once.
Gunky Wunky with...
I'm not sorry, but I won't do it again.
Oops. Oopsies. Now, look, let's turn our conversation to the Dare MVP. And I think my MVP has to be Lisa, solely because when we ask ask him to do things in these interviews, he's always the one to just pick up the camera and go, yeah, we're doing it. Let's go. You want some food?
He's an MVP
he
in
feeds
that.
Appy, was it? Or Appy feeds him, can't remember. Remember when I gave him some food
Yeah, I think
that
he
time?
fed Appy.
It was beautiful. Pure synergy. Now, the actual in-game Dare MVP, who we giving it to?
I think it's either Lisa or Gunkrab, in my opinion. Both
Yeah.
really popped off. Really cool to see another center variation for me. I love it when a Yasuo gets to shine, but at the same time, Belveth looked really, really good in that game. So kind of conflicted between those two.
I mean, I give a special mention to Appy, who was playing really well in team fights.
Yeah.
Was able to just win harder as a result of his team. So I'd probably say Lisa.
Yeah, some sick charms there as well. What about you?
I agree. I think Lisa had a really good KD. I think he didn't die, right?
I don't think he did.
Yeah,
he got
perfect
close,
KDA.
but when he hit ult form, he was just able to sort of jump over the walls to safety. So, Lisa. Yeah, beautiful. All right, Lisa, congratulations. Not only are you the best interviewee we've had from Peace so far, don't tell the rest of the team. You're also the Dare MVP for today. Big love heart there, big mullet, couple of fish up there, 5-0 and 6, 84% KP, and the best damn Belveth game we've seen in the LCO so far. So really, just doing God's work.
Doing God's work indeed, and he is my God. As in Chinese, I would say, 你是我的神. Only Chinese people understand, but it translates into, you are my God. So, anyways,
Okay.
yeah, I actually learned a lot from that game because Belveth is relatively a new champion. So me and Mac were like discussing, do you get the same buff from getting Herald and Dragon, like the little minions? Or
No, it's
you
only from the
don't?
Void creatures, so only from Herald and Baron.
Yeah, so
That's why you put such a big
The
focus
lore.
on those.
You got to consume the Herald Coral or the Baron Coral. Is that what is the alt thing's the Coral?
Yeah, it's Coral.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Coral. Okay.
Yeah.
Terminology, man. It's absolutely crazy. Now, look, that is it for that match. But look, we've got a play of the day to quickly have a chat about as well. There are a few crazy things going on today. Do we have anything that stands out to us? I've got an honorable mention already lined up real quick.
What was game one? I forget.
That was
BW vs Chiefs.
Wilson Chiefs, yeah.
Test
Nah, I
those
got
memories.
nothing.
I don't think anything.
I got nothing.
Oh, I want to go honorable mentions to my boy Kisei for some crazy big burst, quick kills. 1v2s at some points as well, jumping in, getting kills when he shouldn't be allowed. But at the same time, Raze got a big old quad kill today. Remember that one?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
the
yeah.
one.
I actually have goldfish memory.
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
consumed with so much information. Unless I make a note down between games, I just forget.
Well, look, fortunately, play of the day, we can look at it back, run it back. Let's see Raze just tearing it up on the Rift again. Here you go. It was after this Herald. You know, everyone really wanted to fight for that. And Direwolves unfortunately got themselves stuck in the pit. No Kindred ult could save anyone here. And you had your boy Raze, who was chasing boys down, coming back to clean up as well. Sealman was putting in a good effort here. And Tally just needed to, not Tally rather, Typhoon just needed to survive to allow him time back. And he comes the whole way back from mid to get this kill as well. So there's the triple, comes in, big quad, beautifully done. And that was real early on in the game as well. That was first Herald, right?
Yep.
Yep.
8
Crazy.
minutes skirmish.
10-minute GG.
Triple A, delay. I'm sorry,
Ooh.
Jubes ain't here. I also suck at
Jubes
rolling
is
my
just
R's
crying.
on command too.
Double, triple, quadre.
Pentalay. What would he do for that? If you were
don't know.
Jubes, channel your Jubes. We need to get. Is Jubes
Jubes-
coming back for DreamHack?
Jubes wouldn't go beyond a triple.
True.
That is the Jubes tech, because then
Yeah,
he just
very
goes
true.
something completely different.
Yes. 4, give me more. I don't know, something like that. Either way, give me more standings. Let's have a look at where everyone's sitting. Pretty after week 6 is done and dusted. Chiefs, 13 and zip, still untouchable. And Order have managed to slide on into second. Direwolves, of course, couldn't get that dub today, so couldn't hold that second position. And Kanga couldn't bounce up any further because they didn't take down Order. But we've still got that three-way tie for third with Direwolves, Peace, and PGG going into week 7. Which is going to be interesting. As mentioned in that interview with Voice, Mammoth, they're still in with a shot to make playoffs. It is only 3 wins away, but they're getting real close to running out of time, and I think that's the issue, Rusty.
I mean, there is still a full round robin left to be played,
Yeah.
minimum here for most of these teams. But yes, time is starting to grow short for everybody. And the middle of the table needs to start actually solidifying themselves a place in playoffs. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But for players like Mammoth and for Kanga, who are just scraping just underneath, they really need the wins before that last round robin to give themselves a leg to stand on, not a place to be desperate.
You need legs. You need legs to get around sometimes, don't you? Now, look, let's have a look at next week's games. Week 7, day 1. What have we got on the menu? Ooh, a banger to kick things off. 6 p.m. Direwolves and PGG. One of these teams is going to be breaking off from the other. 7 p.m. Peace against Gravitas. Maybe a chance for Gravitas, depending on how Peace play. 8 p.m. we got Kanga up against Chiefs. And 9 p.m. Mammoth and Order. So, look, I'd love to say Kanga have a chance against Chiefs, but I feel like no one's got a chance against Chiefs because Chiefs just win. And 9 p.m, maybe Mammoth have a chance, but at the same time, it depends on what kind of Mammoth we're seeing coming into the game.
Honestly, I think Kise has been just picking up the game since the second round robin, and he's really been carrying these games as that mid laner. And Kise should not be underestimated, and he's definitely just making the entire team improve overall. And the first game, which is, I believe, Styles versus
Oh god, PGG. It was one of the P teams.
P teams,
one
yes,
of the P
one
teams.
of the P teams,
PGG.
which is Pentiment.gg. That's gonna be one to look out for because I believe historically Styles took a game away from PGG, and we just saw them come out of a pretty devastating loss. So which side are we gonna get PGG? Are they gonna be angry next week? We don't know.
And that day is also the last day of the second round robin. All the teams will have played 14 games, and then we're on to the third hurdle, the third chance, the full rematch territory. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
I can't believe it. 7 weeks already, mate.
Ridiculous. Now look, well, 6 weeks. Not quite 7. We're almost there.
I'm already looking.
The Super Week, I
I'm
know
already
it felt
so
like
sad.
a long week, but we're getting there. Look, that's it for week 6 here on the LCO, delivered by Menulog. I'm still here. It's all right. I thought I ran out of battery, but at the same time, we're still good. Thanks, Dare, for keeping me up and going. Now, look, that's it. Thank you all for watching. We love you dearly. Stay hydrated, stay well, stay safe. Week 7 next week. Oh, I hope you enjoy your weekends, and we'll see you then.
You get Exodia, right? You get a Kindred and a Bard, and you both
this could be a bait if Direwolves aren't careful.
Slam of the claw, the eyes go down, Tally hangs the Valkyrie away, but Poltrons is flashed on! He could even use the Lance to spite, he got knocked up in the air by that Cyclone beautifully!
Huge flank from Goodo.
Massive flank with that Blast Cone, Tidal Wave comes out nice and early, it's there to bubble as well, there certainly is, Wild Growth on his head, one target of mind, you don't have a turret, you don't have protection, you've been polyed, you're dead, you're gone, you can hit the flash, but it's far too late. Big collapse, isn't it? 4 members, as you say. A TP goes across. Darshing's going to try and buy some time to wait for those to come on through. True shot barrage. A 2-man charm. He goes golden. And same could be said for Toppy. He's empowered, but he's just been knocked up. He cannot play the game, Rusty. And that is a massive collapse here from Mammoth. Yes, they want to stack up those Drakes. Yes, they want to go for team fights around the objectives. But why not just win a team fight like that and get Voice a triple?
It was going so well for Gravitas.
Find that kill. Needlework is out.
Appy.
2-shot barrage. Appy just soaks it all up. He hits Stasis Form for 2 seconds, but then gets met by an Emperor's Divide. Yuri's going to have to die for that one. Balcom picks up a shutdown, but Violet answers back with 2. A much more welcomed addition than his reintroduction from yesterday. And Peace are looking to...
Hey, look. Menu bomb.
They make it a 2-0.
Looking all really happy. Feeding the water over to Cheon.
Mm-hmm.